Alright, hey guys. So today is Wednesday. It's the 6th of December. Can't believe it's already almost mid-December. We're like a week away. For today's shave, we're doing a head shave. And I have about 24 hours, maybe a little more, a little less worth of growth. I did use a straight razor yesterday on my beard. Finally, it felt so good using a straight razor. It's been such a long time. Cleaned up the neck area and cleaned this up quite a bit. So we're going straight to the dome. So for today, we're going to use Barrister Man 42, which it's not my favorite scent by Barrister Man. It's a nice scent. I don't think anybody would hate it. Just because it's a very, what I would call like a lovely lemon tea style scent. So you can see those are the scent notes right there. Again, what I get out of it is a sweet lemon, but not like overpowering, with a backdrop of what I would consider like tea. So it's a nice like tea lemon scent, which is nice. It's on my kill pile because it's a soap that I bought used and I don't have very much of it. I do have it blooming. And I don't think I'll buy it again. I love, love, love the artwork on it, right? It's basically from, what's the movie called? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And so really, really interesting movie. Definitely got to watch it. If you ask me, it's not the best movie ever. It's kind of like the soap, right? It's not the best ever, but it's definitely nice. But in my adventures and my drive and wants to lower my soap count, this is a like, it's not a love for me, so I won't be buying it again. And even now, having it on my kill list, I've often wondered, like, and maybe you guys can help me out with this. I love the soap base. I like the soap scent. So instead of like keep using it until it's dead, should I just piff it to somebody? Because there's not enough in there to, I mean, there is enough in there to sell, I guess, but should I piff it to somebody instead? Should I just throw it? I don't know. And this has a good amount left. So, you know, I could piff the set, I could piff just the soap, and then I could keep this around for if I ever, you know, shave with something that I don't have a matching splash with. I could always reuse this scent again in the splash form. I don't know. I'm kind of unsure. I've been thinking a lot about this lately because I've been killing this and B&M Leviathan for like the last month. And Leviathan, the more I've used it, the more I like it. This, it's good, but it hasn't grown on me any more than it did. Enough of that soapbox, right? So yeah, I don't know. Tell me, should, you know, with soap like this, something that you just like and you're not in love with, do you keep using it or do you ditch it? Today, it's been a while since I've used a vintage Gillette. For like the last 10 years of wet shaving, that's basically all I used is vintage Gillettes, or I had a Mercur 34C. I also had the Mercur Futur. And not many of my vintage Gillettes stayed around. Once I dabbled into new era razors, and that's because these do not hold a candle to newer razors. The tolerance on them is so much better. The blade clamping is so much better. The weight, the fit and finish, like everything about new era razors are better than these old Gillettes. Like, yeah, they still exist. This one, it's a 1966. It's a revamp by what is it called? Black Road Gold or Black Rhodes Gold, I don't know. But it's a company that does revamps. And I bought it already being revamped. 1966 Gillette Slim. I'm going to start on setting 3, and we're going to go from there. Just such a gorgeous looking razor. And that's why I've kept it. So I've kept this. I also have a 56 Gillette Psycho that I've kept because I like the history behind the Gillette Psycho, a very unique razor blade. And I have a 1930s Gillette New. And those are the only 3 vintage Gillettes I've kept. And like I said, it's because the new era razors are just so much more, they're more efficient, they're smoother. Just everything about them is better. And you know, you have a lot of people that are old, and I mean old by like age, old timers that are like, oh, you'll never beat a Gillette Slim. You know, I still have my 1960 Gillette Slim and it's still in perfect condition. Yeah, and I guarantee you my Blackbird, Blackland Blackbird TI that I have, that I just bought new last year in 2022, I guarantee you that's going to be perfectly usable in 100 years and it's still going to look great. But that doesn't mean that this is somehow better than my Blackbird TI just because it's still around and the metal hasn't corroded away, right? So I think it's one of those things where we get more wrapped up into the cool factor of how old it is, because this is cool, you know, it's a 1966, so it's been around for a while. But it doesn't shave nearly as well as, you know, a 2022 razor does. And to think that it does is insane because, like, technology advances, so does machinery, right? Everything. That's from how cars are designed and built to how your house is designed and built. And, you know, people can go into the whole, like, oh, well, things are made cheaper now and not made to last. Not necessarily always the design of that. It just depends, right? So new razors now are just designed so much more precise. And they're made out of metal, so they're going to last you. They're made out of metals that they didn't design razors in back then, like titanium. So that's just my little soapbox. But we're going with 1966 Gillette Slim. We do have the matching splash, like I already showed you. And the next star of the party is going to be a brush that I'm still trying to break in. I should have used it more when I first bought it, but I didn't. And that is this beautiful Turning by TanZ handle. And I talked about, this is one of the ZT4s I talked about in my last video. And look how gorgeous that is. It reminds me, the pour, a lot of Declaration Grooming's Cold or Cold 2.0. But honestly, I think Turning by TanZ did a better job at it than Declaration Grooming. And I love this handle shape. I always forget what it's called. I always have to ask Ryan what it's called because I always forget. Look at that. It has this iridescent smoky blue with a little bit of black and then like a white cloud swirl in there. Gorgeous handle, gorgeous handle. And it's so well polished. Everything's so nice on it. There's the beautiful coin by Turning by TanZ. And again, sensitive Brett. So this is a 28mm ZT4. And it's just such great hair. Look at that. So we're going straight to this. We're going to pour that into that. I did have this soap puck blooming. And the reason is because the last like 4 or 5 times I've used it, I don't know why, but it's been really hard to load when I don't bloom it. And that could be because maybe the bristles, I've, you know, wringed out too much water out of my brush each time. And I've also noticed some brushes just are a little harder to load than others. As of right now, this one is loading without any issues. And even when I'm doing this, you can probably see that a little bit. See how it's, the puck is actually moving. Yeah, let's go a little bit more. We're at Dang, we're already at 10 minutes and we haven't even got any soap on the head yet. So I'm going to load this like I hate it. Because one, it's on my kill pile. Two, I want to make sure I have a good amount of soap. Oh yeah. So I hope everybody's doing good. It's a really, I'm just going to get a little water on my dome. It's a really windy day here in Key West, which has its perks, pros and cons, perks and negatives, I guess you could say. When it's windy here, it's nice because it's not stupid hot. All right, so it's really nice in my RV because right now I'm dry camping, so I'm not on hookups, and I do have solar, but my solar's not powerful enough to run my AC. To run an AC on solar, you need a shit ton of solar. Because you have to have enough solar, one, to start your AC, and then two, enough power to keep it going. So even people that have shit ton of solar on the roof on RVs usually can't run their AC forever. It's just they'll be able to run it for a few hours. And not everybody, right? Like there are some people out there that have enough. But you're talking about like those people spend a lot of money on their rigs. Now I'm just going to use some of this extra lather to get on the dome. But people that have that big of a system, they probably have like, I don't know. Knowing what I know about solar and how I did it all myself, so you know, I didn't pay somebody to install it, I didn't pay somebody to buy the parts and all that. To get a solar set up that big to where you can run your AC basically like indefinite on an RV, you're talking about like 15 grand to like $20,000. And that is if you have enough room on your roof for that many panels or that big of panels. On my roof right now, actually I measured because I keep thinking about putting some more solar up there. I have enough room for, I could do another 800 watts. So that's 4 200-watt panels. I have enough room on my RV roof right now for that. Currently I have 770 watts. So I'm just shy of 800 right now. And I could put another 800, so I can put a little less than 1600 watts on my roof, which that's not bad. But that's still not enough to run an AC. Okay, we're going to go straight to it now. And that's definitely not enough to run an AC indefinite, especially this time of the year when it's less sun out. Man, I don't know, it's like the more I use some brushes, the more I'm like, fuck, man, what is my favorite batches? Like, the more I've used ZT4 the last couple of days and my ZT3, because I'm trying to use this one more because I want to break it in a little bit better than it is. Because I told you in my last video, ZT4s take about 20 or so uses on them, and I don't have 20 uses on this. Man, the more I use them, the more I'm like, are we sure this isn't your favorite batch? Because it's just so freaking nice. It has like a really nice, soft, plush feel. Its flow through is freaking phenomenal. It loads soap so easily and releases it. But yet it's also has a nice presence, right? Like some people love the whole cloud feel of a brush where you can't even feel anything at all. It just feels like a cloud on your skin, right? Which I like that too, and that's why B14 from Declaration Grooming is one of my favorite batches of hair, point blank, is because it's like a big, it's like a cloud. Like you don't feel anything. But I also really love a little bit of presence from my hair too every now and then, because it feels nice when you can kind of feel the tips in a nice, like, massaging type of way. And ZT4 reminds me a lot of like my TNS M6, where it has like a very soft tip presence to it. And that's why, like I said, it would be so hard for me to figure out which ZT4 I want to sell, because like not only is the knot great, but look at that handle. I mean, again, and this isn't even capturing how pretty it is in person. It's gorgeous. I think we're pretty good though, right there. That felt really good. Did this in. But the cons to it, switching subjects, to Key West, when it's windy like this, is you really can't hang out outside because it's just super windy. But surprisingly enough, I still got a decent amount of solar coming in on my setup. So, I mean, that's good that I don't have to worry about that. I forgot to mention the blade of choice for today. Actually, you know what? I just thought about something. I said 24 hours, my hair growth. I didn't shave my head yesterday, so it's about 2 days worth of growth. Which, knowing that, I would have probably picked a different razor, maybe. But this is going pretty good. Actually, you know what? I'm going to up it a bump. We're going to go to setting 4. And it sounds kind of crazy, but with the Gillette Slim, I don't know, man. Like, I've been bitten a couple times with it, even though I would not say it's an aggressive razor, but I've definitely been bitten, cut myself, because I wasn't paying attention, thinking, oh, this is not an aggressive razor. But like I said, those tolerances are just not as precise. So you still got to be really careful. And because of that, I don't ever put my Slim very high anymore on the settings. But the razor blade is a brand new, first use Wizamet. Another good thing about the wind here is when it's windy like that, you won't have any mosquito or those little no-see-um bugs issues, because when it's windy, those bugs can't land. So far, no issues with clogging. The Slim's doing a pretty good job. I have thought about selling this razor though, just because I don't use it often, because it's just, for what it is, it's good. But some of my newer razors are smoother and more efficient. But it's actually surprising me at how well it's handling 2 days of growth. for how much shit I'm talking about it. There we go. Okay, we're going to stop there from that first. Some water in the bowl. Let's open that up. One thing I really dislike about this razor though, and so the next one I'm going to go back down to a 3, is that the blades actually stick out. So like during your shave when you want to adjust it and then reclose it, like I can't do that without a towel in my hand because you're going to cut, you know, holding it like this, trying to tighten that, you're going to cut your finger. And I've actually done that before. So first round went pretty good. And see, this is acceptable right now. Like, I could do a 1 round shave and be okay. Like, it's not BBS, but I don't feel any like crazy patches of hair. And that's pretty good, but we're gonna go for a round 2 because we enjoy this. That definitely needs some more water. And I think this brush is pretty close to being broken in now, actually. Maybe another 3 uses-ish, and it'll be really nice. And you know how I can tell with the ZT4s, just because I have a couple of them, so I have a little bit of experience, is, again, like I said in my last video, especially when dry, the tips will be a little bit, almost kind of feel pokey and sharp a little bit. This one doesn't feel like that right now, so it's getting broken in, but I can still feel that it has a little bit more to go. And that's why we're using it. We're getting it there. So round 2 on setting 3. See, this is where it feels a little bit dangerous. And dare I say almost uncomfortable. Like it's just not, it's not smooth. Even though I know the Wizamet is a nice sharp blade. You know, even though I know my technique's good. And I've been wet shaving long enough to know that I have decent technique. But yeah, being so used to now new era razors that you can just tell the difference. Like this going, and this isn't even going against the grain, this is going across the grain. And for it being going across the grain, it should be a lot smoother than this to me. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad shaver. I'm just saying it's not nearly as good as newer razors. But man, does it look good, especially in the gold revamp. So sorry if I'm talking a little less right now, but this is feeling really sketch. And I know some people out there might be like, there's no way, like, it's a Gillette Slim, dude, and you're only on, like, setting 3. How sketch could it be? But it feels pretty fucking sketch. Which is crazy, because, like, I've used a Feather Camisori style shavette on my dome, and it's felt less sketch than that. All right, round 2 went good. So we're actually going to go for one more round, and this time I'm going to go on setting 1. Just because I want to see how it feels to use this sucker against the grain, and especially against the grain when I have that much hair already knocked down. Because right now I would say it's a DFS, Dan Fine Shave, not BBS, but you know, I also don't chase BBSs, and I feel like to get BBS on my head, it's a little different and more unique than some other people. Because the top of your head is very sensitive. Like this skin up here is way more sensitive than the skin on the back of my head or my face. And I think that's for like most people. I think that's just the thing. Your skin on top of your head is just very sensitive. And I am not bald. Like I have a full set of hair. So, you know, if I go against the grain on the top of my head to really make it smooth, it has a lot of resistance compared to, you know, people that head shave that have no hair up there, right? Because, you know, if you're shaving against skin and there's hair follicles, you're going to have more resistance than if there isn't any. Doesn't matter what kind of razor you use. Ooh, look at that. Shed. So for me, I never go against the grain on top of my head because it doesn't feel good no matter what razor I've used. Now I will say with some razors it does feel not as bad as others, like say the Carb Overlander or the Henson. You know, medium efficient, really smooth razors, it does not feel too bad. But even like my more efficient razors, like the Blackbird TI or my Wolfman, it doesn't feel great. And then I'm always afraid I'm going to break out afterwards too, with some like hair bumps or something. So I usually don't get a complete BBS on my head anyways, but that's why I'm kind of curious to see. It almost feels like it's not even cutting anything. Yeah, maybe I'm it might be a little too. Okay, there we go. It's time to cut a little bit. Yeah, the only thing that stopped me from selling this is just the looks. I just find it such a gorgeous razor. But then it's like, I don't know, I keep going back and forth, especially because I live in an RV. Where I'm always like, fuck man, I need to downsize my shaving gear. That you know, should I really have razors like this that just sit there 90% of the time? Like it's probably been 6 months since I've used this slim. And if I was in a house, that's a little different, right? Because if I'm in a house, you know, you have closets, you have drawers, you have, you know, storage in your bathrooms. So that's a lot different. Like I could see people that if you have the space, then yeah, it's not a big deal. But for somebody that, you know, lives tiny like me, and not only that, I live nomadically, so, you know, every time I move, I gotta take out the razors, put them away. Once we're in our spot, put them back. Okay. Ooh, that's pretty good, folks. Somebody has a paddleboard out there, or a kayak, something that they're getting into the water. Alright, so let's rinse this head off. Dry it off our hands. And again, this scent is one of those ones that it's not bad. Going straight to the splash, but it's just not a love for me. It's a really nice lemon tea style scent. So, you know, if that interests you, you think, oh, fuck yeah, I would love a nice lemon tea scent, then this soap is probably for you. And I would look for one on the BSTs. But if not, yeah. So yeah, let me know what you guys think too of, you know, do you guys like vintage razors? Do you keep them around? Are they your go-to? Do you find them super efficient? I don't know. I'm back and forth on it myself. Even now, like I said, I'm still thinking about letting this one go right here. And it's one less thing on move day that I gotta pack up and put away, but it's just hard when, I mean, look how good that looks. Everything from the knurling on the handle, I find to be gorgeous, to the butterfly doors, and it's adjustable. Such a hard thing, man. Some of the easiest choices in life I often find are the hardest choices in life. But enough of my soapbox. Appreciate you guys coming by for today's head shave. This is, yeah, man, this is probably a this is a BBS. This was nice, like, but like I said, some parts of that shave right there, it felt a little shady. Like, when I say shady, I mean like a little dangerous. Like, it feels like I'm a second or 2 seconds away from cutting my skin, and I didn't have it on an aggressive setting. I mean, I had it on one of the lower settings, and it still felt like I could feel, like, I can feel the blade moving to where I'm like, oh fuck, like, it's just the clamping's not great on these. The angle's kind of weird to me. Maybe I just need to use it more so I get my technique better with my vintages again. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm gonna not keep stealing some more of your guys' time, and check you guys out in the next video.